Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having an incredible day. To start things off, for those who do not know, Bitcoin lost its grip on the $11,000 price mark to sink below $10,000 at press time. The leading cryptocurrency has pulled other top 20 coins down. That is an understatement, with none of them reporting gains, according to data from Coin360. As Cointelegraph reported, market analysts were expecting a 40% correction from the recent highs of $13,900. The current price of Bitcoin means that the target is now nearly reached. Apparently, and I quote, $9,715 will be the 30% correction of Bitcoin, commented popular trader Josh Rager this morning. He added that a 4-digit price now is a gift in the short term as the overall long-term trend remains bullish. Yep, it's pretty much the news of the hour. At least at the time of me making this video, Bitcoin is currently around like $9,813, depending on where you actually kind of find your metrics. I see a lot of stuff, and I'm really glad that I don't see this anymore. Here we go. Up here is 98.65. The situation that we had during the course of 2018 is that as the price of Bitcoin would drop by 3% during a week, during a day, what have you. There were constant news articles about a cryptocurrency bloodbath. It was one of the most annoying things you could have ever imagined in your entire life. It's kind of like that other website where Bitcoin falls by 1% and is talking about a Bitcoin price crash. Luckily, we don't see too much of those anymore. A lot of people were expecting or saying that the price of Bitcoin was going to go down as we try dramatically to get to the $14,000 area. I was just listening to a podcast, as always, with Andreas Antonopoulos, and he was stating, his love of crypto, his love of the future, Bitcoin, yada, yada, yada. He thinks it's going to do great, obviously. But he was saying the host of the podcast was asking him how he felt about the recent run-up in price, and he said he didn't like it too much, and the host was like, why'd you say that? And he was like, well, I think it's happening a little bit too fast, and he was expecting like a pullback in price as well, because realistically, logically, we probably should not have gone from $3,200 to around $14,000 over the course of 180 days. It was a little bit too hot, regardless of how nice it might have looked on paper or on the screen. It kind of is what it is. I still think a lot of them are self-fulfilling prophecies. I think if you, first of all, I just woke up, so don't even mind my bad English this morning. I still feel like if you scare enough people and push enough people into a corner, people will react in a certain way. Also, the market is kind of run by or ruled by heavy-handed investors who do have large amounts of cryptocurrency. So if they decide that the market has to go a certain way or is going to go a certain way because maybe they want to buy up more, this is probably how things are going to go. Normal, smaller investors, people who have 1/100th or 1/1000th of a Bitcoin, probably aren't syncing up mentally at the exact same time to sell off their precious Bitcoin in an effort to lower the price because they feel that the market has gotten too hot. It is normally larger cryptocurrency traders. However, I remain undeterred. I don't know if people are new here. None of this scares me. None of this really bothers me. We've seen this happen so many other times before. If you're new to the cryptocurrency space or you plan on being here for a while, this will be completely normal to you. After about a good 6-7 months, we are in one of the most volatile assets that has ever existed in the history of ever. And we do have days and weeks like this. And usually, typically what ends up happening is that when the price goes down violently, a couple days later, it usually ends up going back up. And then we have a nice little push back up. Everyone remains very euphoric. Then price goes back down. I'm pretty sure a lot of people, I always wonder what the sentiment is amongst people who have re-gotten back into the cryptocurrency space. We saw a lot of people re-enter the market once again when the price was floating around, I want to say 8,700. That was kind of a really weird moment around the cryptocurrency space. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are realizing a lot of people were also kind of jumping back onto the ship. They got tired of floating out there with no paddle by themselves. And by the time we hit 10,000, that was kind of the euphoric mind burst. But since we have fallen below that, I can only imagine how many people are also writing articles about cryptocurrency being a scam. As always, please make sure to always do your own research and never, ever, 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 ever put more money in than you can afford to lose. I said that before in another video. This was about 3, 4, 5 weeks ago. Someone said that I was being corny or that he was tired of hearing that phrase. I'm pretty sure he's not tired of hearing that phrase now that the price has gone under 10,000. Just always make sure that it's just logic. You have to make sure that you know where your money is going, or that at the end of the month you have enough money to pay for your rent. That's kind of how things are. Anyway, without further ado, let's move on. Next up, only 66 stablecoins. Only 66. Around 30% of the total tokens that we have out there that are stablecoins are actually live and operational. This is according to a study published by blockchain research group Blockdata on the 26th of June. The remaining 70% are still either in development or have shut down entirely. Researchers from Blockdata believe that one consequence of this is that the 2019-2020 may see a record high of new stablecoins going live, with 119 of them estimated to launch in 2019 alone. Researchers also examined possible factors that may have led to the closure of failed stablecoins. Failed stablecoins, according to the study, tend to be commodity-backed by assets such as gold. Gold-backed stablecoins in particular accounted for approximately 2/3 of all failed stablecoins. The when we first started getting stable coins, I think Tether was the first. It had to be around 2016, 2017. I'm aiming more for 2017. The really interesting thing that we had was that a lot of people were like, "Oh, that's a thing." I didn't realize we could also have made a cryptocurrency pegged to something else, and that was a really big. I mean, also in 2018, a lot of people were trying to argue with me. People argue with me all the time. By all means, please, maybe I don't understand something. Maybe I have to learn a bit more. So therefore, please challenge me if I am incorrect with something. So that I can learn and also become a better person. People were arguing with me that new stable coins that were going to be backed by gold were going to take over Bitcoin. And I used to ask, why? Why do you think that's going to happen? Why do you see this future of a stable coin that's backed by gold is going to be more secure and more significant than Bitcoin? And people were saying because gold is scarce. People were stating to me that gold was scarcer than Bitcoin. And I said, okay, cool. Go about your day, good sir, and we will talk about this later. What ends up happening is that a lot of the projects who end up talking about that they want to back cryptocurrencies and or stablecoins by gold usually forget to realize that they have to have accumulated enough gold to be able to back a stablecoin with it. You would need a massive amount of that to have the proper liquidity that it would be meaningful or worthful within the cryptocurrency space. It's just not something that happens. A lot of them fall apart completely. I don't talk about them because it's completely pointless to say, hey, I was right. Once again, for the 138th time, see, it's just not working. A lot of these stable coins are going to fail in general. A lot of these stable coins are, first of all, once again, if you're trying to back it by gold, you have to have a significant amount of gold. Like, you have to have billions of dollars worth of gold to even think about having the liquidity that something like Tether has. And even on the other flip side, a lot of the stable coins that we are seeing launched or are launching or plan to be launched are just copies of each other. We don't really need stablecoins. The idea of stablecoins comes from the fact that there are a lot of people who are like, remember that old guy, really old guy who said about a year or two ago that he was going to tame Bitcoin. The idea is to tame the cryptocurrency market. So as prices are falling down, people have somewhere else to put their cryptocurrencies into. What we're seeing now is that a lot of countries, I understand that, I get that, you know, a country may want their own stablecoin and do not want to simply rely on the USDTs of the world, or USDCs, or any of the other US dollar backed stable coins. Totally get that. Everybody wants to have their own little slice of the cryptocurrency pie, but a lot of these are scams. A lot of these are just trying to get other people's money. This also goes into the same exact thing before, where we heard that Facebook was launching a stable coin, and people were asking me in the comment section, how do I become part of Facebook's ICO, and how much do you think the stablecoin will rise in the future? A lot of people just simply don't know. A lot of people think the stablecoins have another feature or use than they actually do. They're mainly supposed to be cryptocurrency traders who are trying to not catch a falling knife, as it were, and simply swap their money into something that is more stable, that is not falling, and that is pegged one-to-one to something, as opposed to seeing the value of their Bitcoin fall down. But what we have right now is also the situation where governments around the world are realizing that they have to do something. They kind of have to act or react to the current state of the cryptocurrency market. And a lot of them are putting their money behind these stablecoins. And I still believe that the point now of stablecoins has kind of morphed or evolved into something that banks are trying to do to be able to kind of keep up with the cryptocurrency game. I think a lot of them that we see launch this year and next year will play a significant role in the cryptocurrency space. Do I think they're going to survive in the long term? Not at all. A lot of them are pegged to fiat currencies, which aren't doing well. They're continuing to not do well. If you look at the news of what's happening within the Eurozone, which was happening within the United States, anything that has to do with the economy right now is looking upbeatingly Armageddon-ish, if that makes any kind of sense. They were doing studies. The Wall Street Journal did a study on people who are like heavy players within the stock market and the markets around the world, and they were asking them, they say, we're close to hitting all-time highs in the financial markets, the traditional financial markets, and people were saying, yeah, that's great. And they were saying, what do you think about the long-term outlook of this, either 6 months to 12 months from now? And they were all saying, yeah, things don't look that good at all. So people are generally euphoric about certain things within the normal economy right now, even though down the road things may not be going that well. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling on. The point is that I guess there really is no point. It's just the stable coins aren't doing very well. I don't expect them to do very well. Eventually, we won't have to price things to fiat. For those, I mean, depending on how much of a crypto person or crypto believer you are, in the future, it is believed, without me saying anything definitive, that things will simply just be priced in Satoshis. We have about a good 2, 3, 4, or not even, maybe, I want to say 3.5 years until this is actually a thing. Anyway, stablecoins won't really be a huge issue in the future, but let us move on. Next up, VeChain is in the news, and I'll go over a couple of things just to really let people understand what I'm talking about. According to reports in the crypto space, Sunny Liu, the founder of VeChain Foundation, has revealed that there could be a buyback for VET tokens in the cards. The buyback will see the network acquire VET worth $25 million US. Hence, Liu has told traders to prepare themselves accordingly. The price of, that's also, hold on, let me make sure I remember that. The price of VET, according to reports from the past week, saw huge gains because of the leaked data about the foundation going into a partnership with Walmart. The news was a major cause for the surge in VeChain's price. The coin moved from 1 cent, or rather to 1 cent. Although this is for a brief period before the coin corrected itself, the reports of a buyback has caused a surge of the price of VET above 15%, which reportedly helped it pass by 1 decimal away from 1 cent. VET holders will see a buyback as a signal that the blockchain company is seeing progress and willing to invest in itself. However, this doesn't translate directly into a bull run in the future. Here's a little beautiful price chart right here. People were asking before, now tie this directly into what I was talking about a couple of days ago when it came to Tron. We had news a couple of days ago that the people from Tron, or rather Justin Sun, as always, announced, I believe on Twitter, or rather that the Tron Foundation was going to be doing a buyback of Tron. And I mentioned in a video that Tron is probably looking very likely to be considered a security, and people were asking me, why would Tron be considered a security? Yada, 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 so and so and so. While being labeled a security is not necessarily a bad thing, pretty much a security is anything, rather labeled by the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, anything that someone buys with an expectation of profit. We have seen before in the past that the only coin explicitly not called a security is Bitcoin. Why? Because Bitcoin does not have an office. Bitcoin does not have somewhere you can kick in. Bitcoin was not done by an ICO, and the SEC does not like ICOs. The entire point of this is, if you are deemed a security by the SEC, you fall under then United States jurisdictions. If you fall under United States jurisdictions, you then end up having, like fees and payments, and not even a smack on the hand. You get a smack in the back of the head, which pretty much says, hey, you did something that you should not have been doing, and therefore you are now legally liable by the United States SEC and have to pay us back. Why this is significant is because you normally You normally don't have buybacks in the cryptocurrency space. Buybacks are done by large companies and large institutions and large foundations. They typically buy back their stocks. Cryptocurrencies are not stocks. So when you have a company such as the VeChain Foundation or the Tron Foundation or any other foundation out there who is talking about buying back their own cryptocurrency, it puts them in the category of a major company who is then releasing something that is deemed a security, and therefore this is why it's looking very likely that even now that the VeChain Foundation talking about that they're going to be buying back their own cryptocurrency in an effort to push up the price. This is why it's done. You don't buy back your cryptocurrency because you believe in it. You buy back your cryptocurrency because there are probably too many of them out there, and you do so in an effort to cause the circulating supply to lower dramatically, for people to go, there's a lot less out there. They just bought $25 million worth. What do you think the point of buying back something for $25 million is? What if I gave you all a token and they go, wait, I need to buy back $25 million worth of it and then burn a whole bunch of them because it's done to inflate the price. If I am not mistaken, I'm pretty sure VeChain was done by an ICO. If you go onto the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, to their website area section, it's sec.gov/ICO, where they're talking about initial coin offerings. The SEC does not like ICOs because nearly every single ICO that has come out has not gone through the SEC, and this does not please the SEC, as they believe that everything that was deemed an ICO or that had some type of crowdfunding mechanism to fund itself to be able to launch should then fall under the jurisdiction of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. They have already come forward multiple times and have given out multiple pamphlets and said, you are illegal, we are going to sue you, you have to go to court, you are being fined $5 million, you're being fined so and so, and so we are shutting you down. And this is the reason why this is all very significant, is because the SEC has yet to explicitly come forward and say exactly what cryptocurrency is a security, but they have even kind of thrown dirt on top of Ethereum and said that Ethereum at one point was deemed a security by the SEC. We've had two people who've come forward and said this, but they have not ever explicitly written it in paper. They said, while Ethereum, I believe, was the first ICO that we ever had in the cryptocurrency space, they said Ethereum would have been deemed a security by them. However, the network is sufficiently decentralized enough at this moment. I think it was about 4 years ago when they had their first ICO. Therefore, they are not deemed an ICO. Once again, not explicitly written in paper. Unless you are as big as Ethereum, disagree with me all you want. I actually don't care about this. I have gone through because I remember there was a really big thing, for those of you who don't remember, 2017 and 2018, as to if XRP was a security. I am not the most well-versed person when it comes to security laws, but I definitely have made sure to read up on them to know exactly what's going on behind the scenes. There is a lot of talk right now that a lot of the major cryptocurrencies are going to receive some type of a letter. However the SEC does it, maybe they sneakily put it into your sock drawer at nighttime to let people know that they are security. Because if you, the whole focus is, if you have had an ICO and people within the United States have acquired or have been able to hold your cryptocurrency, and you have not registered with the SEC to let them know that you were doing this crowdfunding as an ICO, then therefore you are probably going to be deemed a security, and also probably going to be fined millions of dollars by the United States SEC. And also three, this also leads to, and not even a gray area, a very weird area within the United States, that people will probably have to either sell their coins, tell the IRS or the SEC, hey, I bought something that I wasn't probably supposed to because we didn't go to you directly first. Or three, people start panic selling the cryptocurrency because they are then afraid. Once again, I am not a master of the SEC ICO situation. However, you can even see on the side, this is the actual website from the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. If you read on the side, they have ICO updates. They have news about the stuff that they've been doing. SEC charges issuer with conducting $100 million unregistered ICO. SEC obtains emergency order halting alleged diamond-related ICO scheme. SEC staff announces agenda for May 2013, May 31st. Statement for framework of investment contract. Company settles unregistered ICO charges after SEC related self-reporting to SEC. I have a very strong feeling a lot of these cryptocurrencies have not gone directly to the SEC and said, hey, we made a mistake. We need to register with you now. Please don't give us as many fines. And this is why the people from Kick are currently in that, was it $5 million fine lawsuit or something like that they're going through with the SEC. This is the pretty much the entire point. People were asking me what's wrong with being a security. Nothing. If you own Apple stock, if you own Amazon stock, you are holding a security. The point of it is that within the cryptocurrency space, there are not meant to be securities. When you get people talking about, and this is my opinion, but also the opinion of I don't even want to use the word leaders. People who have been in the cryptocurrency space for a very long time, such as Andreas Antonopoulos, when they talk about coins that they stay away from or that they simply don't believe in, it's because you're logically not supposed to be able to do this within the cryptocurrency space. You're meant to have a coin that is so decentralized that no one owns it, no one touches it. When you have a company who can initiate a buyback of something, you start going into a really gray area where you're not really as decentralized as other cryptocurrency projects. There's no point, there has not been, and there probably will not be in the future, where we see Satoshi Nakamoto or even Charlie Lee, the creator of Litecoin, talking about, hey, we're going to have to buy some coins back. Can you imagine what would happen if Satoshi Nakamoto came out talking about, hey, this is my office, I'm in Silicon Valley, and we're going to have to buy back about $250 million worth of Bitcoin and burn them. The same exact thing that the people from Tron are doing. It's a very weird area, and every single time that a coin, first of all, having a foundation or an office or anything like that is already a bit of a weird red flag situation in the eyes of the SEC. And also talking about that you're going to buy back your cryptocurrency is just very odd. So this is anyway, I could actually go on forever about this as far as the potential ramifications of what a buyback like this is looking like. Apparently, they said that they are, they're looking to do so, but maybe are not doing it explicitly yet. Oh, and the reason I highlighted this, it says, hence Lou has told traders to prepare themselves accordingly. That's something that you do if you own a major company and you have stock, which is always registered as a security within the United States through the SEC. It's just, these companies are acting as if they are not dealing with the United States SEC, as if there aren't going to be, or as if there will not be any pushback from the SEC somewhere down the line. I mean, I don't know how to make it any clearer. You can't tell people for a cryptocurrency that you created, that you tried to talk about, was supposed to be something that was super decentralized, but it's not, to hold on to their horses and to prepare themselves accordingly for you buying back stock. That's something that a major company does, and that's something that falls under the jurisdiction of the SEC. And once again, I am not a VeChainer. I don't know an explicitly large amount about VeChain, but I'm going to assume that VeChain is probably not as decentralized as Ether or as Bitcoin. And there also hasn't been a point in history where Vitalik Buterin was like, we're going to buy back millions of dollars worth of Ether, because usually these buybacks, what end up happening, the one for Tron, is that they're buying it back to burn it, or rather put it into a smart contract, into an account that cannot be accessed by anyone. Yeah, just people get so angry so quick when I talk about a coin that they're holding, and I keep making sure to always mention, I don't talk about these coins for a reason. When the SEC has deemed, first of all, when the SEC has deemed something to not be a security, cool, let's go for it. But they have not done that. They haven't even given that explicitly for Ether. And if the SEC has no gripes with them at all, such as Bitcoin, these are the coins to kind of focus on. If you haven't realized, the SEC and the United States have not been having a very good time when it comes to cryptocurrencies. They don't like the idea of cryptocurrencies. They've been coming harder down on cryptocurrencies. They don't like the idea of ICOs. They're just even probably trying to wrap their heads around IEOs, nonetheless STOs, which they're probably a bit more comfortable with. Anyway, the point is, the SEC has said many times before, every ICO that they've seen is a security. And if it is a security, it falls under their jurisdiction. If it falls under their jurisdiction, it means that it is illegal for people within the United States to hold these tokens unless this company, VeChain, has directly come to the SEC and said, we are going to launch something that is going to be a security. Please regulate us. I assume in 2017, according to this thing right here, that the people from VeChain have not gone to the SEC, so be wary of coins that you are holding that could be deemed securities. And without further ado, let's move on. Next up, Switzerland-based online bank Gooch is developing its own Ethereum-based stablecoin, according to the white paper published on the 27th of June. Per the document, Gooch intends to issue ERC20 stablecoins dubbed Gooch Cash, pegged to the euro, the Swiss franc, and the US dollar, and gradually increase the list of Gooch Cash tokens, my gosh, what a name, base currencies depending upon customer demand. The bank further specified, and I do quote, the initial Gooch Cash tokens tranches of roughly 10 million Swiss francs, or equivalent in each base currency, will be issued initially kept by the bank as unreleased tokens. Additional Gooch Cash, my goodness, tokens will be issued in tranches depending upon client demand. Small portions of $100,000 Swiss francs. Imagine being so rich that you think 100,000 is a small portion of unreleased Gooch Cash tokens will be released in favor of the bank to enable it to sell Gooch Cash tokens. My gosh, they love that word. To the clients. The bank notes in the white paper that the main purpose of the tokens is to bolster the use of blockchain of payment tokens issued by the bank. The public testing stage will begin on the 3rd of July. The bank plans to subsequently offer a custody service for tokens and accept Gooch Cash tokens from its clients at an exchange rate of 1-to-1 to the fiat-based currency as payment for its services. So while they are an online bank, this is a precursor of things that are to come. As far as banks issuing or finally releasing information that they're creating their own stablecoins, this is going to happen amongst every single major bank. They have kind of missed the boat, as it were, for issuing their own cryptocurrency. So they're either going to be issuing stablecoins or they're going to be using other cryptocurrencies that we already have in the cryptocurrency space. A lot of these are going to fail. It's very, very weird. They're doing this as this is kind of equivalent to the ICO situation that we had in 2017, where everyone just seemingly thought that they could launch their own ICO and therefore things would be wonderful and great and everybody would start throwing money at them. There's no point to these. I would rather banks just simply continue using paper money as opposed to trying to issue their own cryptocurrency and trying to stay ahead of the curve and all this other stuff. It's kind of pointless, if you will, but we had news when was it? About 2 weeks ago, of the other banks who were funding stablecoin projects, which led me to believe that they're probably also going to release information sometime, I want to say towards the end of 2019, about issuing their own stablecoins, or rather using a stablecoin. It's going to be a very weird day when we have a bank come forward talking about, we're going to start using tethers, that people can use tethers. It's going to be very, very odd and very awkward as well. Anyway, let's move on. Here's a really interesting one. Cyber threat intelligence firm Digital Shadows has discovered over 100 fake domains registered regulating or relating to Facebook's forthcoming stablecoin known as the Libra. This was reported by The Independent on the 1st of July. As of the 19th of June, researchers at Digital Shadows had found over 100 domains registered relating to Libra and several dozen referring to the associated crypto wallet Calibra, with some of them containing malicious content. The firm divided the websites into two groups: those impersonating Libra's official website and those promoting scams. They said instead of relying on media buzz and hype around the brand, these types of scams instead aim to convince victims that they are on a legitimate website and therefore most likely to trust it with their personal and financial data. Scammers reportedly used Greek, Cyrillic, and other alphabets that resemble the Roman one used in English to look like the official domain by, for example, replacing a lowercase a with the identical Cyrillic character. I can't pronounce it, but it looks like an A as well. Digital Shadows identified one website that offered visitors to purchase Libra with Ether with a 25% bonus. At least 6 of the domains reportedly copied the Libra and Calibra website by means of the aforementioned homeographic technique. Guriahuk said that for the most of convincing sites, it can be nigh impossible to determine which is legitimate and which is fake. The point is, people have been, it's really fascinating. I mean, and I can't really fault other people. The people who are doing these scams are or have become very intelligent over the last couple of years to try and find the most explicit ways to be able to scam other people. Just as always, please pay attention to where you're putting your money. I once again heard people, and I assume maybe I didn't get it through the last time, maybe other cryptocurrency YouTubers aren't explicitly saying this out loud, but I feel like they need to. The cryptocurrency or the token from Facebook is a stable coin. It is pegged to other assets, and it is not going to be a coin that is going to move up and down like Bitcoin. If you put your money into this, you will not be making any money. It's the equivalent of handing someone a $1 bill and them handing you back a $1 bill. That's kind of the most important part. The secondary part is that a lot of people have been making websites because they knew that a lot of people, one of the things you can find like Google Trends and stuff like that, people have been searching how to buy Facebook coin ICO when, future price of Facebook coin. Like, people are very desperate to try and get into something like this. I guess no official numbers on the amount of people who have been using these websites, but the fact that there are over 100 of them shows that there is a demand for them, because people are searching for this information in a way to try and, especially with it, what did it say, with a 25% bonus. Things like this have been happening all over the place. Anyway, just be careful with what you're using, how you're using it. I know it's not easy, but always do you have to. Just research these things yourself, at least for a tiny bit. Go around for an hour. Like, it's not going to hurt you. I've noticed so many people are very, they don't want to do research because it is inconvenient for them. They would rather be on Instagram. They'd rather be on Facebook. They'd rather be somewhere else as opposed to researching where their money is going. If you plan on putting money into the cryptocurrency space, take 5 minutes of your time. When you go to the bathroom, take your tablet. Read about what's happening in the cryptocurrency space, read how to protect your money in the cryptocurrency space, where to put your money, where not to put your money. It's very simple, very easy. It can be done by almost anyone. Without further ado, let's move on. To kind of finish things off, Jeffrey Burns, eccentric founder of blockchain incubation and investment firm blockchains.com, purchased a small community bank in Las Vegas, Nevada, in order to secure financing as he manifests his decentralized dreams, according to the Nevada Independent. Burns said his ambitions are incompatible with the current financial system, and he feared that the banking complex would cut off his supply of capital. The 56-year-old attorney previously announced plans to construct a Reno-sized blockchain-focused smart city and esports arena in the Nevada desert. Maybe this is the same guy we were talking about. And that's so funny. I just mentioned about 2 weeks ago, I was like, we haven't heard from this guy at all. I think this is the same guy. This is the guy who was talking about he wanted to make his own blockchain city, and I'm pretty sure it's him. He bought like mega acres worth of land to be able to make a city that is just going to be blockchain centered, if you will. His $28 million acquisition of the Kirkwood Bank of Nevada, he said, is a small but critical step in helping the nascent company achieve its wildly ambitious goals. No, that was reported by the Nevada Independent. In addition to financing his own projects, Byrne hopes Kirkwood Bank of Nevada will help become a leading bank for the blockchain industry. I'm so tired and hungry. He said it's to create an environment where the blockchain ecosystem, the legitimate businesses out there who are trying to build projects that are going to empower the individual and better the world, have a bank that understands what they're doing and isn't fearful, end quote. The point of this is we had a very big problem in 2017 and 2018 where people were trying to open up bank accounts, anything that had to do with banks, and banks were actually closing people's accounts if they bought. People were having their accounts closed if they bought cryptocurrency on Coinbase. People were around the world were saying my account was just closed because I purchased $100 worth of Bitcoin. So it was a very big thing where people were trying to launch cryptocurrency projects and companies, and they were trying to look for a bank and they could not find one. This is why it was very significant news last year that people from Litecoin, I think, had acquired a 10% stake, if I'm not mistaken, in a German bank. And I think there were 3 other cryptocurrency projects as well at the beginning of this year that also had acquired a 10% stake in them as well. I assume the point is to have it be crypto majority. Anyway, the point is, I mentioned other things like this before. I don't know this guy. I think it's incredibly cool what he's doing. It's hyper ambitious. I hope that he has the funding for it. But when I mention other things like, I mean, this is just how I personally feel. This is my own feeling in my head and in my heart. I wish we had more initiatives like this. When you talk about the people from Tron acquiring BitTorrent for $100 million, that's why I sat there and was like, what are they doing? There's so many people in the cryptocurrency space who need funding for things, who need to kind of get their stuff off the ground, and they can't find a bank. To be able to buy a bank for $28 million, imagine if Tron had gone almost at halfsies. Imagine if Tron had gone 50-50 with the people from the Litecoin Foundation or someone else to buy this bank or any other bank for $28 million, to be able to say, hey, we have a bank right now in California or in New York or in Nevada or even in Texas, anywhere, where if you are trying to build a cryptocurrency something, we can help you. We can help you finance it. We can help you put your money into a bank account. How much further this moves the cryptocurrency space along. Yeah, I find it very fascinating. People sometimes have their priorities in the completely wrong area space. I think what Tron was trying to do was very ambitious, and I don't even want to use the word cool. It's just that we still need to build up infrastructure. We are not at the point where the world is a glossy, wonderful, beautiful rainbow place where cryptocurrency can continue to thrive. We have other countries who are still trying to ban it. People within the United States, government leaders within the United States, are still not very keen and or friendly on it. So the fact that someone is doing something like this is incredibly awesome. Not really a lot of news as far as how his smart city is going. I hope that it actually ends up working out. I can only assume if he has $28 million to acquire a bank, hopefully he has $28 million to build some buildings so people can live in. Anyway, yeah, I find it very cool. I think we need more things like this. Until we actually do win, we have to continue building up our infrastructure. At the moment, there we go. Or rather, sorry, brain is all over the place. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters: Kyle Chassé, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Professor Wally from Gunbot University, My Keto Kitchen, Adobo, Crypto and Beer Shipmate, Brady Neild, L. Doug, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, Crypto Joe, Mohair Maroney, Carl Birchenoff, Singer-Songwriter Mike Savitz, Rai Rai, Yasha Harari, Amy Starsheen, Jeffrey Ramsey, Clara T. Snowden, Crypto Artist Cole D3D, Nicholas One Earth, One Peace, One Love, Set Suna, Nick Kanaya, Richie Rich III, RF Dusty, Cody, Vlad the Impaler, Paxist, Tom Sucks at Basketball, and Sam Skips Leg Day, Jeremy the Photographer, Jim Gardner, Minting Coins, Arthur Yaku, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, and Mick Kanik. Thank you all very much for your support. At the moment, Bitcoin is currently sitting at $9,920. I believe, I was reading around and people were saying, or rather websites were indicating that apparently Bitcoin had gone down to, I think $9,700 was where it kind of fell down to. If you even look at the little chart right here, it looks like it's trying to go back up. To be fair, that has happened before in the past. I would not be surprised if we went back over $10,000 sometime today. Does not mean that we are going to stay over $10,000, but the general euphoria starts over $10,000. I still personally believe, with all the people in the cryptocurrency space, people around the world who are buying fragments or people buying Bitcoin in general, that it should not ever be under $10,000. Yet, lo and behold, here we are. Some of the other major coins also took a bit of a beating, but interestingly enough, not as bad as Bitcoin. Ether is currently down 5.5%. XRP is only down 3.9%. If you pay attention to the little Satoshi prices, the Satoshi prices of all the altcoins are actually up as well. I assume this basically has to do with the fear of Bitcoin falling any lower. But even you can see right now, Tether is actually being sold off, which means a lot of money from Tether is probably going back into Bitcoin. Probably why we're seeing this little uptick right now. No other significant drops at the moment. Monero's down 7%. Nem is down 7%. Yeah, there's not really anything, no 25-30% downs at the moment. Decred and Holochain are down 12 and 11. That's still, I mean, they don't have as much liquidity. They have $10 million in liquidity. It's not as much as the other coins, so they're expected to take a bit of a further hit as prices go down. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and listening. Let's see exactly what ends up happening during this week. There's still a lot more news. I couldn't fit it all into one video. Crypto is absolutely insane right now. Thank you all once again for watching and listening. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.